All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm JJ. Let's do an example problem. So we're saying for our case shown, our 130-pound force at a 5, 12, 13 triangle, let's determine the moment that it's causing about point A. So let's just jump in and go for it. We know if we're dealing with moment, we always establish our positive rotation direction in any moment equation we're writing out. So we'll start this out and say with positive going anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, let's sum up our moments about, we were told to do this at point A. Down the road, we will work harder problems where we have to choose the point to solve out for an unknown. We're just not there yet. But so right now we know it's just about point A because we were told to do that. And this is going to get us to whatever it works out to be. So let's come in and deal with this. I have an Fx. I can get an x component of this force. We'll go about right here. I can get a y component of my force. I'm going to sketch those in because it'll make it a little bit easier for us to visualize perpendicular distances, rotation directions, things like that. As you get comfortable with moment, you don't need to draw these in every time, but it can be useful starting out. Let's look at our y component first. So that y component pushing up here. When we tackle moment, don't just blindly say, oh, it's in the positive y direction, it's a positive moment. We have to look at our rotation direction for this. So to do that, I'm going to say, let's draw a line across our arrow going in the direction of the arrow, and then follow that out in one continuous circle around whatever point we're looking at. So we're summing moments at A. If I go up in the y direction here to make a decent circle, I would go counterclockwise around point A, which means this is a positive moment for F1, or for the force's y component. So let's get it in as a positive. The y component will be the y leg of the triangle over the hypotenuse, 5/13, times the total force, 130. That's my force in the y, Fy, which means I need to multiply a perpendicular distance from that line of action where my arm's at here over to point A. I have to move in the x direction to do that, and I'm going 5 feet for that. So times my dx, distance in the x, times 5 is dx. From there, we can come in and say, well, what about my x component? That x component points to the right. Even though it's in the positive x direction, I have to check the rotation direction. So again, doing my circle trick here, if I draw to the right along the forces component, and then in one continuous circle, try to complete that, I'm going clockwise this time. Clockwise, but I took counterclockwise as positive. So I just subtract this one out. So let's say minus my Fx, my x leg of the triangle, 12 divided by the hypotenuse, 13, 12/13, times my total force, 130, times, well, now if I'm looking at the x component, coming from my hand down to A, I'm dropping in the y direction on that, coming down 3 feet. So times 3. Really, again, all that I'm getting here, this first piece, 12/13 of 130, that's my Fx. My 3 feet, that's my dy. Fx dy. Always a y component force goes with an x distance. An x component force has to go with a y distance for our moments in here. If I add that up, though, I'm going to get that my total sum of my moments about point A is negative 110 pound-feet. And that's negative when I assume this was going counterclockwise for everything. For moments, though, we really don't want to report that as negative with the direction in here. We want to be super clear what we mean. That negative counterclockwise is really the same thing as saying our total moment at A will drop the negative and change our rotation sign. Is a positive 110 pound-feet, and we'll change that to be clockwise. Negative counterclockwise is the same thing as positive clockwise. We will always report this as a positive number with the correct rotation direction in here. So that will be our final answer for this one. Again, moments are super important for us. They show up most of the way through the rest of the semester. Probably the biggest challenge for people is figuring out that rotation direction. Please wrestle with that. Get that one sorted out. I'll try to get videos up to help with that. But don't just 50-50 it. Don't be the person that does that all the way through the semester. Figure it out. Learn that. This is going to keep showing up all the way until you graduate. Moments matter for us. Let's get you there. If this video was useful, hit the like and subscribe button. Keep tuning in. Let's get you an A with JJ.